That Moment When is an interactive film game in partnership with Sony. You can play Eco Studios films. The New York-based company specializes in interactive media, which it creates using a free web-based platform that it developed and offers to creators for free. Using its tools, it's made interactive music videos, such as its take on Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone, and the upcoming War Games series based on the 1983 film, and headed by Her Story's Sam Barlow. The studio's latest release is That Moment When, an episodic sitcom from creator and director Sandy Perrick, which is available to watch on its website. That Moment When is live action, and from time to time, it enables viewers/players to affect what's happening on the screen. Each episode features Jill, who Milana Vayntrub portrays, in an awkward situation, and viewers can try to guide her through with her dignity intact, or they can try to make her hit rock bottom. Eco co-founder and CEO Yoni Bloch gave an example of two-player mentalities: his 24-year-old brother, who always tried to go for the worst option to see what happens, and his 65-year-old mother, who was appalled whenever she picked the wrong thing, because she felt responsible for Jill's tribulations. Bloch says that in both comedic and dramatic material, the beauty of interaction is that viewers can feel like they have agency in the story and can bring about change. We discovered that when you make something interactive and non-linear, but it plays on a linear timeline, just like life, then there's something very powerful there in terms of how you can pull people in, said Bloch in a phone call with GamesBeat. Even though that's been existing in gaming for a long time, in all kinds of ways, any examples of that happening with live-action video were always pretty miserable. That's changing now, though. War Games is a big IP, and Eco is working with MGM on that project. That Moment When is in partnership with Sony. Bloch says that they're seeing a lot of interest from creators who want to play with the new medium. Above, a quick time event in That Moment When where you have to land the olive in the martini glass. Eco has a free suite of tools that enable creators to make live-action and animated interactive films. It's a web-based platform where you can upload footage, create different points of view to switch to, and drag and drop buttons that, when clicked, will branch off into different storylines. It's intuitive, and anyone can use it, provided that they sign up and create an account. The films feature a wide array of different mechanics. In the first episode of That Moment When, you can choose the dialogue that Jill says. The second episode has mini-games, such as clicking to keep a floating olive in a martini glass, while Jill listens to an ex-boyfriend list out all her faults. If you succeed, she keeps her cool. If you don't, she has a drunken outburst in the crowded restaurant. Though it does have moments of gamification, That Moment When doesn't have any right or wrong choices. These decisions are about playstyle and what the viewer wants to see happen. When I show the show to people, sometimes it tells me about who they are as a person, said Perrick. They'll play through and they'll really identify with the character, so they want to play as positively as possible. They want to win the game, even though winning the game isn't really the objective. It's just to experience it and have a good time. Or there are other people who say, I want to see the most awkward situation. Perrick is best known for his portrayal of the characters Abu in The Guild, Felicia Day's web series about a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. He also writes and directs, and he created The Legend of Neil, a Comedy Central web series about a character who ends up in The Legend of Zelda. Creating an interactive film like That Moment When comes with a whole host of challenges. For instance, they had to make the branching paths different, but still feel consistent to the character. The actors had to keep several different moods in mind while acting because they could have come from a number of different dialogue paths. We were all kind of sitting there, and we didn't have much time either. We were shooting 18 pages a day, said Perrick. It was a lot of, okay, what are the 3 possible places you came from? What were your 3 attitudes? How do you do something now? Let's start the scene neutral enough that it would work coming from all 3. Or do we have to then create 3 different first lines? One where you're saying it upset, one where you're saying it more neutral, One where you're saying it happy? Perrick and his team also had to